The reaction meta is ruining everything.
Jesus, dude, that's crazy.
Or maybe it isn't. We're gonna figure that out in today's video. If you take a quick glance at my channel, and let's be honest, there isn't much to look at, then you'll see that I mostly make videos about MMORPGs. This narrow content vertical is dominated by one man who doesn't really play MMOs anymore, or much of anything for that matter. Asmongold is an institution in and of itself. He isn't just an individual, he's a topic of conversation, a pillar of discourse, a genre.
Why don't you have nameplates? What are you doing without nameplates? What the f is this? You got, I swear to God, why the f do people not play with nameplates? Like, Jesus.
More than anything, he's emblematic of the contentious content strategy that is reacting. Because of the compounding nature of success within attention economies such as YouTube and Twitch, the bigger you are, the more successful you become. Thus, Asmongold's presence within the genre of MMOs dominates the conversation. It has also inspired a veritable generation of copycats, with seemingly hundreds of creators with absolutely no prospects of garnering even a fraction of a sustainable audience, thinking to themselves, well, if Asmongold, who has an organization of professionals editing and producing on his behalf, can sit at home all day and watch other creators' content, why can't I? I'll let you figure out the answer to that one. Now, I'm not here offering an indictment of Asmongold or Hassan or XQC or any other major reactors or of the reaction meta as a whole. You'll find that the issue of whether or not reactions are harmful or the answer to who should take the blame for the state of things is not easily determined. So we're going to work together today and see if we can arrive at a reasonable conclusion and perhaps put this issue behind us. First, the legal argument. This one is fairly easy, so we can get it out of the way quickly. One of the highest profile legal cases in YouTube's history was Hosenseide v. Klein in 2017, in which the Kleins were sued by Hosenseide for copyright infringement. The judge ruled in favor of the Kleins, arguing that interspersed clips of critical commentary constitute fair use. The rest is history. The issue is that people seem to misunderstand that fair use is not a standardized condition, rather a vague parameter that can only be judged on a case-by-case basis by a judge. You have to accomplish a few things in general. Your content must be transformative and it cannot be a market replacement for the original work, for starters. People often say that reaction content is stealing from other creators. Within this legal framework, as long as the prerequisites are met, that simply isn't true. A creator could certainly sue another creator should the reacting party fail to operate within the legal definitions of fair use, but that is ultimately up to a judge to determine, not you and I. With that in mind, we can leave the legal discussion behind us. It's already been solved as far as I'm concerned. So while it isn't legal theft, assuming that fair use isn't being violated, can it still be just theft? Let's get into the pragmatic argument. Imagine that you're out in public and you stumble upon a talented street performer. You whip out your phone like everybody else and post his or her performance on x.com or whatever. You go about your day, but while you aren't looking, your post goes viral and you get a quick payday on your sudden influx of engagement. I think we could all reasonably conclude that the hypothetical I just put forward would be at the very least unfair to the street performer. Let me break down why. First, I believe there are two variables in this equation: work and value. Both parties, the street performer and the person recording the performance, interact with these variables to varied degrees. In lieu of mathematical units of measurement, we'll just use language to work this out. We can agree that the performer is doing an overwhelming majority of work in this interaction compared to the person recording, who is doing minimal work. Thus, the performer's input is far larger than the viewer's input. Now we take into consideration the output, or the value. The viewer who posted the performance received money, which is value, but it isn't true that the performer received no value, even if the performer wasn't paid. This is why the conversation about the reaction meta is messy and why it inspires so much consternation. The street performer derived less value on the output of this interaction, but there is some value in the exposure that their performance gained. I can already hear some of you saying, Ember, exposure isn't payment. I agree, but exposure isn't devoid of value, particularly in an attention economy. We're back to talking about YouTube and Twitch, by the way. When a popular streamer reacts to a smaller creator's piece of content, it could be argued that the smaller creator is deriving material value from that interaction, since exposure can lead to success on YouTube and Twitch. That isn't to say that XQC is an altruist for leaving a video running on his stream while he goes to the bathroom, or that there was any material effect on the original video's performance in this specific case. There obviously wasn't. I'm simply suggesting that in this general hypothetical interaction, some value can be derived. The reason why reaction content is contentious is because we, the audience, can easily identify the imbalance in the input and the output for both parties. The performer, or the original content creator, is investing a disproportionate amount of input into the process that the viewer is deriving a disproportionate amount of output from. Is it legal? Sure, if the parameters are met. Is it fair? Well, think about everything we just discussed in the last 2 minutes and you tell me. Now let's wrap this all up in a neat conclusion. We still have to answer the question in the title: is the reaction meta killing MMO YouTube? There's one particular YouTuber who Asmongold reacts to on a fairly regular basis named Willie, who runs the premier World of Warcraft classic channel on YouTube. I had a thought. What if I were to take some of Willie's videos that Asmongold has reacted to and compare their performance to the original source? I found reaction videos from Asmongold using Willie's content in the span of the 9 months between September of 2022 and June of 2023. This graph compares their view counts. Without exception, every single Asmongold reaction video outperformed the original video. The worst of Classic WoW nearly bucked the trend with a difference of 22,000 views, but that near anomaly is completely overshadowed by the humongous disparity between the other videos, namely the February reaction. That was a nearly 500,000 view difference. I'm sure Willie would have loved that. I also took an average from the videos that Asmongold reacted to on Willie's channel and compared them to the performance of videos uploaded before the videos that were listed here on the graph. The videos that had a reaction from Asmongold averaged 160,715 views. Videos that didn't have a reaction from Asmongold averaged 204,194 views. Listen, the method I used isn't scientific. I'm not a data analyst, but these numbers suggest that whenever Asmongold reacted to one of Willie's videos, the prime benefactor was not Willie himself. And one might argue that in a just world, it would be. It should be clearly stated that Asmongold is not one of the worst offenders of the reaction meta that exists. As a matter of fact, when it comes to content relating to World of Warcraft, there are few creators out there who can match his knowledge and expertise. I'm sure that both his audience and Willie are perfectly happy with Asmongold's reaction videos relating to World of Warcraft Classic. In addition, I'm positive that Asmongold's commentary during those videos is transformative enough to exist within the acceptable parameters of fair use. However, it still comes back to the equation we talked about earlier, the issue of input and output, the transference of work into value. This system is unquestionably skewed towards the participant in the process who has provided minimal work, while shafting the participant who was responsible for the process to begin with. With all of that said, who do we blame? Who's at fault? This is the most important question, I think. While it's legal under the right circumstances, I think I've been able to demonstrate that the reaction meta isn't fair, even if it isn't completely unfair. Exposure is a currency in an attention economy after all, and that bears repeating. Is it the platform holder? You'd be hard-pressed to convince me that YouTube's backend is deliberately designed to promote reaction content. It's been 10 years since they removed the video response feature altogether. Evidently, they do not want you reacting to anything. No, that's not the answer. So is it the streamers? Perhaps they're at fault for perpetuating this culture of low-effort content by hiring a small army of editors and producers to churn out content multiple times per day, every single day, which inspires the envious and unimaginative hordes of would-be influencers at the bottom to do the same, poisoning the entire damned well with wide eyes and mouths agape. But no, they aren't forcing anyone to watch their content or contribute to its propagation. No, the answer is you. XQC doesn't get to steal content without you. Streamers don't get to profit off of unprepared, emotional, long-winded rants without you. The inherent unfairness within the transfer of work into value does not occur without you. The reaction meta has formed itself to appease the demand of the viewers. That's you. Do you think these people would make these stupid faces for their thumbnails if they weren't absolutely positive that you would click on them as a result? Of course not. You did this. And you know what? That's alright. Platform cultures change, trends begin and end. That's just the way things go. Outside of the starkly illegal examples of stealing content that are absolutely worthy of litigation, I'm looking at you, XQC, the reaction meta is fair game. It's certainly not going anywhere if the numbers are any indication. But as a creator who enjoys producing scripted content, swallowing this reality hurts. Would any of you truly be happy listening to me rant for 45 minutes about nothing instead of getting a tightly edited video like this one? I don't think you would be, even if the market trends point to the contrary. I've been a viewer in this small corner of MMO YouTube for many years. Only in the last few months have I decided to try my hand at contributing something substantial to the community. What I'm seeing, however, is a growing number of low-effort streamers who are desperately searching to find another street performer in order to create yet another reaction video. But what happens when there aren't any street performers left? So to answer the question in the title, is the reaction meta killing MMO YouTube? Yeah, and it's your fault. My name's Ember. Minding my manners, of course. Thanks for watching.